Okay, we're ready. Hi, everyone. Just a quick check. Can you guys read and see this PowerPoint? Is it clear enough? Should I turn the lights off? We're good? Okay. Hi. Wires. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Code.Jam 2013. Thank you all for signing up. We had a really good turnout this year. To start off, we would like to welcome our sponsors. They're all over here. We have representatives from Ericsson. We have representatives from Kronos. And we have representatives from Morgan Stanley. Right over there. And we have representatives from Shopify. They're back there. Thank you all. Thank you to our sponsors for attending and for just all being here today. I'm surprised at the turnout. I'm really thankful for that. Meet our team. I guess our team is all around, but I am the organizer, like Code.Jam team. That doesn't make sense. Meet Mark Etienne Brunette. He's our representative from MEP, McGill Energy Project. And generally, if you see anyone wearing the gray Code.Jam t-shirt, they're part of our team. So if you see them walk by, stop them, say hi, introduce yourself. They're all at the back over there. Most of them. Okay. All right, I realized that one of the most important things to let you guys know about is the schedule, aka the food schedule. You just had dinner. That's your first meal of the day. Of the 48 hours, we'll serve breakfast generally at 9 a.m. We will serve lunches at 1 p.m. Of course, these are all like subject to plus or minus 30 minutes of delay. We hope you understand. There might be problems. I'm not saying there will be. Dinner is at 6 o'clock for tomorrow. I'll let you know, like, for breakfast, we're getting bagels and coffee. In general, that's how the breakfasts run. For lunch tomorrow, we'll be giving you Basha, food from Basha. They're down the street. They're on University. They're amazing. Dinner tomorrow will be pizza, and the lunch on Sunday will be from Subway. So all of these details will be on the website. If you need refreshers, just go to the website. Important information, all meals will be served in the cafeteria area. That's the same place that we gave you guys Job's Panige just now. Meals will only be given if you have that green ticket. And so if you notice, there are 6 boxes underneath that one meal ticket that represents all the 6 meals that you're going to be given over the course of the weekend. So if you have to present your meal ticket, they will mark it off, and then you're done with that meal. So it's easier that way for you too. If like one of your friends doesn't want to eat their meal and you want to take it from them, just take their ticket, but make sure to return it to them. So this ticket is your all access, like all of the food that you will ever get over the weekend requires this ticket, so guard it with your life. For updates on I don't know, maybe like general ask questions, and just like food updates and just general event updates, just keep checking our McGill.Codejam.com website. That will be updated as regularly as possible over the weekend. This presentation is also recorded. If you have teammates that are either in FACC 300 midterm right now, or if they're at the awkward social mixer, let them know that this will be recorded and up by tomorrow at some point, as soon as we possibly can. And this recording is courtesy of the Plumber station. Can we give them a round of applause? They're back there. The EUS Plumber station is a it's brand new. It's a video recording club, and it's really cool. You should check them out. Other information. For technical questions, if you have any questions relating to the technicality of the question itself, email this email, codejam.mcgill@gmail.com. So this email will be on the website if you forgot it. But like if you have any questions about the problem itself, email codejam@mcgill.com. And also, in general, a rule of thumb is if you have any problems, there will be volunteers in gray shirts in Trottier throughout the weekend. Stop them if you have any questions. Stop them if you have any problems, and they will deal with it. Most of us will usually be stationed at Trottier 1060, which is our lounge up there. There will be one person there at most times. So if you can't find anyone, worst case scenario, come down to there. rooms that you'll be working at, we have booked the 5th floor study rooms, but as we can see, the magnitude of this Code.Jam is 40 teams, so we couldn't book a room for each individual. You can work wherever you want. If you want to work at the 5th floor study rooms, I would say run up immediately after this and like call dibs on those study rooms. Another piece of information, if other people have been taking those study rooms or using them to study, you have every right to kick them out and say, we're using this for Code.Jam. Okay? Okay? Power? Authority? We'll give you a brief introduction. The judges for the competition itself. I've never used this mic before. This feels weird. So, judges, we have 2 faculty judges, Professor Joseph Bibihall and Professor Brett Meyer, both of which could not make it today, but they will be, oh, sorry, Professor Bibihall is right here. I didn't see it. I'm so sorry, I didn't see you there. You can email them if you have questions too, but in general, they're only gonna give you generic answers or like generalized answers. They're not gonna actually like help you solve the problem. It's a general rule of thumb. Our representative from Morgan Stanley that was part of our problem-making team is Mr. Devin. He's right here, if you want to, yes? Our representative from Ericsson, Sir Anthony over there. And our representative from Kronos, Mr. Emil over here. Representative from MEP, Mark Etienne, he will be giving you the problem presentation in a few minutes. So, okay, so without further ado, let's start with the presentations of companies. We'll start with Ericsson.
Hi everyone. Does everybody hear me? Yeah, how's everybody doing? Excited? We're excited. We're excited to be here. Ericsson's very happy to be one of the prime sponsors this year. We were here last year. We were a secondary sponsor, but definitely a great event to attend. So we're definitely looking forward to seeing your solutions because we'll be judging that. So my name is Kiara, and this is Lindsay. We're both from the recruitment team at Ericsson. So we just wanted to give you a brief presentation about what we do at Ericsson. So here we go. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Sony Ericsson. A lot of you come to see us at the career fairs, and you're probably like, oh, Sony Ericsson, yeah, we heard of you guys. What we like to respond is, yes, we once were obviously affiliated, but we do so much more as well. So as it reads here, we're one of the world leading provider of telecommunications equipment. We have over 1,000 networks in more than 180 countries, and we're one of the few companies actually worldwide that can offer end-to-end solutions for all major mobile communication standards. So we're involved in developing network infrastructures and all of the solutions that obviously relate to that. And we are all over the world. So we have a video here. Just help us understand a little bit more what the impact that we have is. Am I supposed to do something for the sound here, or? right, so this, whoop, I don't have a mic anymore. Yeah, here we go. So this is what happens in a minute, and this is how we contribute to this. Thank you very much. All right, let's just get back on our PowerPoint. So essentially what the video really demonstrated is the services and the technology that Ericsson develops enables this communication, right? Whatever device can get communication, can get data, we enable that. So just a little bit more about who we are. So like I mentioned, we are a global leader. Our headquarter is actually in Sweden, but we do have offices around the world. Ericsson is actually the world's fifth largest software company. We have more than 40% of the world's mobile traffic that goes through our network equipment. And we support customer networks servicing more than 2.5 billion subscribers. So our customers are companies like AT&T, Rogers, Bell, obviously you know them, so those are our clients. Ericsson also contributed to 33,000 patents in its wireless IP portfolio. So that's the breadth of our services. So we're not just about technology, we're also about corporate responsibility. So there's a few projects that we're obviously involved in this spectrum. So some of the areas where we play, I guess, a responsible role here in the world is enabling communication for all, reducing our environmental impact, enabling a low carbon economy, conducting business responsibly, and leading with our values. And maybe an example that we can talk to you about is Ericsson's Refugees United initiative. So basically this is a database that we created, put together, where right now we have over 185,000 users that have registered in crisis situations. And this enables them to reconnect with their families and their friends and their loved ones during crisis situations. So either during natural disasters or during wars, famines, etc. So this is something that we're going to continue contributing to. So it's obviously developing technology for good. A little bit about us in Canada. So we've been in Canada for about 60 years. We've contributed to about 400 patents with our 4 offices here in Canada. We have over 3,100 employees. We're mainly an R&D center here in Canada, so we are one of the top 10 R&D firms. And approximately 70% of mobile calls in Canada are actually served by Ericsson. And our offices are, so we have an office here on DeCarry in Montreal, we have one in Ottawa, Vancouver, and in Toronto. So this is pretty much Ericsson here in Canada. I'll just give this to Lindsay. She's going to talk to you a little bit more about sort of what is it like to work at Ericsson.
Okay, so I'm just going to tell you guys a little bit about what your life and your career at Ericsson could be like. For example, if you were to work at our Montreal office, the office is easily located by metro or car. You can utilize our free parking facilities. We have an affordable on-site cafeteria, free gym and wellness classes that you can take. We have outdoor patios that you can utilize. And we have over 1,500 employees just in the Montreal location, but we also have offices in Ottawa, Toronto, and Vancouver. And so I'm going to talk to you now about what it would be like if you were a co-op student at Ericsson. You are going to have access to mentoring and learning opportunities, and you will perform interesting work. You'll get to network with other co-op students and create contacts for the future. You get to participate in activities and events that are exclusive just to co-ops. You'll be considered for full-time positions after your co-op. You'll get to share your feedback with us, and you get to have flexible working hours. But if you've graduated from university, what can you expect? Well, you're going to receive a competitive benefits package. You're going to have access to senior professional industry leaders. You're going to have the potential to travel abroad. You'll get to work with cutting-edge technologies, and you'll have advancement opportunities. You'll have a mentor and learning opportunities, and you will get to perform interesting work as well. You will also get the flexible working hours, and immediately you'll have 3 weeks of paid vacation per year. So, what is Ericsson looking for in a potential candidate? Well, we have the top 5 attributes here to get yourself hired. On your resume, show us your job relevant skills. For example, tell us about the programming skills you have. Number 2, we're looking for top talent. Show us your intelligence and attach your transcripts to your applications. Number 3, show us that you're willing to learn and be curious. Number 4, demonstrate your ability to get things done. And number 5, be passionate and energized about the job. So how do you apply? Co-ops, you can apply directly through McGill's My Future webpage. New graduates, you can find all of our jobs on the Ericsson website. You can create a profile on our website at www.ericsson.com/careers. There you can upload your resumes and transcripts and other documents to your profile. And we encourage you to check our website regularly and postings with McGill for employment opportunities. So I'm just going to leave you with one thought now, and that is that you and Ericsson equals FACC. So what does that mean? Well, it stands for Foundation, Advancement, Success, and Technology. We'll provide you with a foundation to achieve your potential through our workplace culture and our resources. We provide you with advancement opportunities. We want you to think big, aim high, and learn continually. And this is what will lead to your success, and your success is Ericsson's success. And how do we all succeed? Well, through continual innovation and adaptation. And how will all of this be achieved? We're going to utilize, create, and develop new technologies that are cutting edge, fresh, and exciting. So remember, U plus Ericsson equals FACC. So thanks everyone for listening. We look forward to speaking with you more about your future at Ericsson, and good luck everyone at Code.Jam.
Thank you, Ericsson. Before we move on to the next one, I'd really like to thank you guys all for wearing the t-shirts already. Looks really great. Well, and just a shout out to architecture, because the t-shirts were designed by the faculty, by the Department of Architecture. So if you want anything designed or anything creative to be made, go talk to them. And so now we have Kronos to give their presentation.
Hi, how are you tonight? You are eager to go to your competition. So I'm here, my name is Emil, I'm here to represent Kronos Kronos is our second year that as a main sponsor. I'm working for Kronos for more than 13 years. So I'm here to present Kronos. What is Kronos, in fact? Because many people sometimes with other real estate company. So we are a global workforce management software company. Was founded in '77. Our headquarters is in U.S. in Massachusetts. It's in fact Chelmsford, near Boston. As you can facts that you can see here, we have more than 20,000 customers. Our solution is deployed in more than 100 countries. Last year we almost had 1 billion in revenue. 3,500 employees across the world. In Montreal here, we have around more than 150 employees. Our solution is used by more than 30 million people around the world, and we have one of the department cloud because we offer our solution on premise on hosting, and big of it's the fastest growing part of our business, the cloud portion. This is just show like what are the list of our customers. Like Kronos has our customers in all the verticals. Like in retail and hospitality, you see there. Manufacturing, healthcare, public sector, or service and distribution. So we are everywhere. You can see more than half of Fortune 1000 they use our Kronos solution. As I said before, our solution is deployed in more than 100 countries. You can see that the blue stuff, like where is it used our solution. Also, not in that our customers are allowed to use around the world. Also, we have our international employee have almost 1,000 employees all over the world. From development point of view, we have mainly in the United States, in Canada, and in India. So we have 3 main centers of excellence. What about our products? It's about, like I said, we're in workforce management business. We build a software to help companies doing from hiring, from payroll, from timekeeping, scheduling their employees, forecasting. So the suite of application that we offer through different, like today, devices for desktop, for mobile, for tablets, and as you can see in the top left corner, we have ours, like our own devices for time clock input. Where we can do more than that. In fact, it's the new version that we have. Yeah. So from technology like that we use inside the you can see here we are mainly a Java shop company, but we have different pieces that we use, or either .NET, and of course you're gonna see for mobile. We have our application works on for Apple, for Androids, BlackBerry, and Microsoft. And for UI technology, we're using the HTML5, Flex, and also Java. Our internals we're using as a development methodology, we're using Agile Scrum. More than 10 years we're using this, and we're using a continuous integration methodology for deploying, for producing our products. So Kronos has opportunities for to have your career to work for Kronos, and also for internships. So new grads are welcome to come to us, and you can take advantage of, like a unique career development, growth opportunities. We're eager to have like new, fresh ideas, and really we have this. We look in the last years for new young people. Hello? Now you hear me? Okay, good. I didn't touch anything.
No, it's the unit itself.
It's
Sorry.
it's got hot. Okay, sorry for this. Yes, so continue. That Kronos offer, like it welcomes like new talents, and they're going to work with experienced professional who enjoy to sharing their knowledge. This I can say from my personal experience. Like I said, I started working 14 years ago for Kronos, and starting from a junior position, and I grew up there, and I had really interesting colleagues, like really professional that that teach me a lot, they mentor me a lot. So this is a point that I could say every time about in Kronos, at least for our Montreal office here. They're also interesting. We have a job rotation program. You can choose, like different in another location maybe, or in a different position, whether it's like in the same engineering or marketing or other departments in case. Career opportunities. So there are of course development and quality assurance position. There's as an engineering, and you can have a vertical or lateral growth. You can see you can either become seniority in your position, and you're going to become a specialist, or you can, like as a lateral, you can go to a management or architecture position. Kronos has opportunities for both of them. Yeah, so this is Kronos. Here is just real codes, like from real people that have opportunities to take on real challenges, impact the business. Also, the second portion, like Kronos offer internships. We have 2 years all around paid internships. And this works.
Yeah, well, the projectors need to get set up, and all of them are warming up.
I don't want to look into that. Yeah, no, it's working.
Okay. Yeah.
Only one.
Yeah. Just it's warming up.
Hello? Do you hear me? Okay, I'm trying to finish my presentation. My 15. Does it take me for my 15 minutes? Okay, just to wrap up on the internship program. For Kronos, going to be exposed to the real world problem. The project that will be they're going to go in productions to gain self-confidence in the workplace, and going to develop a network that you can maybe continue with other internships or have a career or you can evaluate your career choice. We're always open to new perspectives, so new ideas that the new talented people they're going to bring in. And as I said before, there's a lot of opportunity for mentoring and teaching from other, senior professionals that work for us. Me too, I have a video. I hope.
The entrance here real projects, we're doing real work.
Coming to work every day is much more fun when you actually know your product's being used.
I'm doing a lot of things for the sales reps. I'm doing things for the marketing team.
This is very well. This is not just school projects. It's been great, all the, big. See the best work experience I've had, and then learn something every day.
Yeah, so this was the video for our program. So this is my last slide. So I invited to come to Kronos or for internship or career. So sorry for it's not my fault, but good luck for the competition. And now everything will work for the rest of the.
We're sorry, guys. Technical difficulties in this classroom cannot be avoided. Moving right on. Morgan Stanley.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Nelly, and I'm going to keep it shorter and sweeter than I originally intended, just to make sure that kind of sense the spirit, no, that's not the right word, the ambiance in the room, and I have a sense that folks are in a hurry to go get drinks and start coding, not necessarily in that order. So I'll just get started. So I run the campus recruiting team. We have 2 members in New York, 2 members in Montreal, and I'm here today with Devin Lafreniere. And I'll tell you just a little bit about our involvement with the McGill Code.Jam. We are doing this for 4th year in a row. I'll tell you how we got involved because it's just a beautiful story and I love telling it. And the gentleman in question is right there. How many of you know Rami Sayar? Right, he's pretty popular. He's doing very well these days. So he was an intern with Morgan Stanley. We hired him out of 1st year. He impressed the living daylights out of our interviewers. And he's got a couple weeks left from his internship, and we're chatting, and I was telling him, Rami, I want to do an event at McGill, but I want to keep it interesting. I don't want to do a recruiting presentation. So he says, okay, and he disappears. And I don't hear from him for a couple months, and then he sends me an email in October, and he says, this is what we're going to do. It's going to be this coding competition. It's called the McGill Code.Jam, and we're looking for sponsors, and if you want to put in the money for the first prize, this is what's going to happen. And he comes up with it, and the rest is history. So, so that's how, so we had the privilege of hiring the first Code.Jam chair, and we also had the privilege of hiring the first Code.Jam winner, Devin, right here. There you go. This is Morgan Stanley. What we do is we're a financial institution, started out as an investment bank. We do 3 kinds of things. We have the sales and trading and investment banking business. How many of you know that Twitter went public last week? Right, so Morgan Stanley was part of the underwriting team. We also have the wealth management business where actually Devin works, where we have financial advisors working with individuals like you and I who want to invest money in their 401ks. And and trade stocks and bonds on the exchanges as individuals, and we have an asset management business where hedge funds and rich people seek advice on how to manage their portfolios. What we do in technology is develop the tools and the platforms for all these things to happen. We enable our business. What I've shown you here is the 7 technology locations that we have across the world. In North America, we are in New York and in Montreal. Montreal, it's a developer shop, about 500 people in all of Montreal. On the biking trail, for those of you who bike to work, it's like me, important selling point. We have a very vibrant community, office culture. Actually, this is our basketball team, and we had a social event on Valentine's Day. And this is pictures from Halloween from last year, where I'm somewhere in the background dressed as a cheerleader. I'm sorry to say that. And these are pictures from our Tech Expo. So it's a fairly dynamic office, has a bit of a startup feel to it, and at the same time, we're part of a global company, part of a global distributed environment for developers, so that's kind of neat. Technology happens to be the largest department at the company. We have 3 times more technology people than bankers. Wall Street, that's the best kept secret, is just a big tech shop. That's what it is. And what we do is we try to innovate and stay ahead of the curve most of the time. We really try to develop solutions that are global so that our clients in Japan have access to the same analytics and the same tools as clients in New York and in Tokyo. And we really drive our business. Morgan Stanley has the largest technology IPO book in the world, and a lot of that is done in partnership with our technology team. Our current CIOs, we actually have 2. One of them comes from the Technology Analyst Program from the University Recruiting Efforts from a couple of years back. Some of the projects that we're working on, and I'm going to really skip that part. I just wanted to ask you, how many of you use C++? How many of you know who's been credited with the creation of C++? The name? There you go. So he's starting working for Morgan Stanley in January. So I'm actually dying to find out how they detect him. That would be really nice to know. But what he's going to be doing, he's going to be working on C++ libraries and standards. We'll contribute to the open source, we'll contribute continue working with the C++ community, and we hope to send him on campus. So I've already sent him a list of schools that I want him to go, and Miguel is top of that list. So I'm going to skip through the quotes, and I just will go straight to the part where we talk to you about our careers. How many of you are here in the hopes of eventually getting a job or an internship? Okay, that's good. So I'll keep talking, otherwise I was going to cut through the end. How many of you would be still available and interested in getting a full-time job? Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about that. And the rest of you, I'm assuming, are internship interested folks? Okay, so we got a ton of internships. They're actually quite nice. Devin tries to stay as close to the intern population as possible. He signs up as a mentor, and he just came back from a paintball and go-karting activity. He's not all in colors just because he was on the winning team. So it's important to have a mentor who's good at paintball, just saying, as a courtesy. So in terms of the full-time opportunities that we offer, we hire folks in a program called the Technology Analyst Program. 2 times a year, February and August, we send you to New York. We put you in corporate housing with wireless internet, and I've gotten asked the strangest of questions, but you can bring there your cats and partners if you want to, if you must. And we basically round out the skill set. Some people come with very strong Java, some people come with very strong C++, so it's a matter of going through all of these, plus the internal technologies and tools. And the last piece of this is working on a project. And then you present that project to the global CIOs in a televised graduation ceremony. So it's kind of nerve-wracking. So Devin tells me everyone's making an effort to present actually poorly so they don't get selected. It don't get watched around the world, but I think this is an urban myth, right? And after the training program's over, you return to your team, and in your case, it would be in Montreal. You join a team just like Devin, and then you work on and he's going to stick around to tell you more after the presentation and the program announcement, what he's working on right now. In terms of internships, We hire about 30, 35 interns per year. January start, May start, September start. The largest class happens to be the summer intern. We also have the most time to do fun things for the interns because the rest of the year we are actually out on campus recruiting. This happens to be our esteemed judge in a Hawaiian shirt, as it turns out. So we're very outdoorsy people, so I like to send our interns rafting and ziplining, and we do not only social activities, but we also have professional development aspect to our program. We do tech talks. We allow you to network, we encourage you to network with senior professionals from the office. Have a very transparent evaluation structure, and at the end, on the last day, we let you know whether or not you are getting an offer to come back for either a subsequent internship or a full-time. This is part of our ziplining thing where I actually got injured this summer, so I'm carrying proudly the war scars from being a campus recruiter at Morgan Stanley. It's a lot of fun. So what we did is we asked the organizers to send you all an email for those of you interested. So I'm told that this email went out and they're collecting resumes for us somewhere. And the deadline is the 17th of November, I believe. So those of you interested, please do that. Turn in a resume. What we hope to do for the Code.Jam folks is do an accelerated interview process for those of you interested in applying. So it's going to be end of next week for interviews, and we hope to get offers out by the end of November, first week of December tops. As I said, Darren is going to stick around after the problem's announced for those of you who may have questions. And with that, I wanted to wish you luck to the competitors. Have a lot of fun this weekend, turn in some amazing work, and apply to Morgan Stanley. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Morgan Stanley. So the next speaker that we have lined up is Rami. While he's setting up his computer, I will introduce you to Rami. Is that good?
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, so Rami is infamous in the Code.Jam world because he is the founder and creator of Code.Jam, and he has participated in the past 2 iterations where when he was organizing, no wait, only one. When he was organizing, and then he won the second one, the third one.
Yeah.
Pretty much Rami created it and has won it a whole bunch of times, and so he's here to give you guys tips and tricks to deal with hackathons.
Hi, everyone. Hey! I see a few familiar faces. That's awesome. Love the fact that you guys are still here and coming to the Code.Jam. Just one thing. I went on Twitter and I searched the Code.Jam hashtag, and thank you, Anna and AJ. But everybody else, come on, why aren't you guys tweeting? Let's make like Code.Jam trending in Montreal at least. Let's get on this. Let's do it right now. Take out all your phones and your laptops. If you don't have a Twitter account, get one right now. And I want to see those tweets rolling. I'm waiting. All right, we'll get back to it.
You want the mic to die on you?
Thank you, Sassy. Okay, cool. So I've got 12 tips. I'm not going to take very long. We'll get right to the problem in a few minutes. So about me, I went to McGill, did computer engineering, did the Code.Jam. I went to work in San Francisco for a while, came back to Montreal. I mostly code in Python, JavaScript, HTML5, Node.js, Cordova, PhoneGap, Ruby on Rails, pretty much everything. So if you have any questions, feel free to tweet at me. I'd be happy to help you out. So without further ado, the first tip that I have for you guys, it's set realistic expectations. You are not this. I'm sorry if you think you are the cat on the unicorn, breathing fire and everything. You're not. Sorry. So set realistic expectations for what you want to get out of the Code.Jam. If you want to learn a new technology, put that top of mind. If you want to just finish the Code.Jam, That's definitely something that is very admirable. And about, I think, from past years, only like 30% of teams actually manage to submit something at the end. So really set realistic expectations. If you can do this, all power to you. I will respect you and follow you on Twitter if you have a Twitter account. But if not, just keep it real. Second thing, take frequent breaks and showers. Okay, I'm just gonna let you read that. Yeah. I know that you guys think you can code all night and everything's cool. I'm sure you can. You guys are all very young, but don't, please. Next thing, fuel up. That does not mean coffee, 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 coffee. Okay, fuel up on healthy food. And then please don't waste food. I mean, the Code.Jam guys did pay a lot of money to have the food there, so don't do this. Just go around in circles. Number 4, do your homework. So I heard that Shopify has an API. So you probably knew that ahead of time before coming to the Code.Jam, which means you guys should have looked it up, right? No? Yes? Oh, I see a few nodding heads. Okay, cool. Some of you guys did your homework. That's good. So if for everybody else, go right away and look it up, because if you want to use it in the Code.Jam, you should see how it works before you actually get to the competition. Tip 5, don't code tonight. Silence in the room. Yeah, that's right. Don't code tonight. All the teams that have won the Code.Jam, Devin included, have not coded the first night.
Not a single line.
Not a single line of code. What did you do, Devin?
Architected.
He architected. Exactly, that's what you should be doing the first night. You should be reading the problem set, you should be looking at the requirements, and coming up with a plan. If you dive straight into coding, you will miss something and not win.
There was also some drinking involved.
I won't say that on stage, but yes. That's also a reasonable excuse. Tip 6, use GitHub. How many of you guys have you heard of GitHub? Pretty much everyone, right? Okay, awesome. Did you know that GitHub gives free repos to students? Well, now you know. Cool. Use GitHub. It will save you so much time, especially when you're trying to do that thing, sending code across computers. It's an amazing service. Definitely use it. Tip 7, if you're building a web app of any kind, use a platform as a service. How many of you guys heard of Azure? Okay, wow, actually that's a lot more than I expected. How many of you guys heard of Heroku? Okay, awesome. Use them. They are free, and they save you the trouble of setting up servers and doing stuff that is difficult. I don't know why I have that comic up there, but yeah, pretty much. Cloud rocks, so do it. Number 8, choose one language and one framework. Don't do this. All right, I don't know anyone who still codes in Delphi, but definitely don't do that. This is what you want. Okay, wow, you can't see that. One language to rule them all. So if your entire team is comfortable in Java, use Java and only Java. Trust me, you don't want to be dealing with network connection issues at 1 a.m. in the morning on Saturdays. Like, just don't do it. Just use one language, one framework. It's much easier. Tip 9. See, we're almost done. Choose one database that does everything. Again, one database to rule them all. And what do I mean by that? I don't just mean use one database service. I actually mean use one database that you can use for everything, which includes caching, includes storing, doing SQL. So basically that means MongoDB. Who's booing? Is that the Shopify guys? Well, I'm sorry you guys had a problem with Mongo. For the sake of the Code.Jam though, Mongo's an excellent choice. If not, you can use Redis or anything else. Point is, use something simple and easy, and that you can use for multiple things, including a cache service. So go Success Kid, MongoDB, all right? If you want to learn something else, go ask the Shopify guys. Tip 10, use a JavaScript, HTML, CSS framework. Do not roll your own. you have 48 hours, which includes sleep, which means you should use one of these things, not make your own. Trust me, it will save you a lot of time, a lot of headache, and you will not want to cry at the end of the show. Sorry, where's Batman? Oh shit. Oh, Shopify, don't kill me. Sorry. Sorry. There's also Batman JS, made by the wonderful guys at Shopify, including Harry, who's sitting all the way in the back. It's not on this list, my bad, but if you want to use Batman, you can definitely ping Harry on Twitter and he'll help you set it up. But otherwise, you can use Backbone, jQuery. Don't make your own, please. Tip 11, ship early and ship often, or stay focused and keep on shipping. I have this really awesome shirt that says code ship repeat. That's what you want to do at the Code.Jam. You definitely want to ship a lot, and what I mean by ship is build everything with everybody's files several times in the Code.Jam, because you don't want to be stuck at the last couple of hours with 3 incompatible versions that don't build at all. I've seen that happen, and it always happens. Don't do it. Ship often and ship a lot, and stay focused. Tip 12, go live or go home. What that means is that you should be releasing early and releasing often, which means test and give it to your friends so they can try it out to make sure things work. If you ship early and ship often, it will be easy for you to actually test and have people look at it and make sure things are working. Now, I have a bonus tip. Have fun, all right? That's it. Any questions? No? Okay. Let's see if you guys started tweeting. Oh shit, oh nice.
Wait, I think Shopify might want to use your computer. Maybe.
Oh, you want to use my computer?
Maybe, maybe not, because now they hate you.
Oh. I didn't say anything bad.
Well, Shopify, do you guys wanna? As a last minute addition to the presentation, Shopify is coming to explain to you how to use their API. And this is Harry that Rami has mentioned, although they might actually start fighting right now.
Harry and I go a long way, by the way.
No, I got it.
Sure?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this year's lecture on SQL versus NoSQL and the merits of both. Let me begin my 37-part dissection of the problem with a talk on MongoDB. No, I'm just kidding. So my name's Harry. I work at Shopify. Hey, Christian, can you send the photo of the bouncy castle as a tweet? Thank you. So I want to tell you just really quickly about Shopify, and then like what we do, why we are, who we are, and why the hell our API is involved in this. I was a McGill student, but like 5 years ago. I promptly dropped out because school sucks, but I'm glad you guys are all following through on it. What happened to me was I went to work at a cool company that I really like and made cool shit. It was like so much fun. I started on the admin team where I like invented a new JavaScript framework. It's called Batman. It's a good reason there's no logo for it on there because it's like not good for this kind of stuff. It's like super heavyweight, but I got to like shape the future of the like JS framework debate, which was really fucking cool. I ended up on like a panel at a conference with like a bunch of my idols, like Jeremy Ashkenazi, the inventor of CoffeeScript, and Yehuda Katz, who like helped make Rails, like a whole bunch of badasses in the world, and I was like sitting there, and it's because I got into a cool company. So after like making a JS framework, I went and worked on Shopify's performance team, so we like made it much faster, much more scalable, and I got access to like problems that only like maybe 1,000 companies in the world have. Like, got to scale software that had never been scaled before. I got to learn about like, I don't know, crazy memory allocators and like NUMA architectures in CPUs. I learned that in multi-core computers, you have to bind memory that's like close to the CPU to that CPU. So processes running on that CPU don't try and use memory that's like a slower bus away. And it's like, oh shit, that makes sense. And I learned about memory and buses like in this fucking room and had no idea like, oh shit, that's actually practical. So I made Shopify's Memcache cluster like 15% faster because of Lauren M. Trache. What I'm here for today is to tell you how to use the Shopify API. It's like so easy. It's just like, it doesn't need explanation. Go to api.shopify.com. There's like a 5-step guide. We're gonna be sitting at the back teaching how to do it. It is so easy that in like the past 20 minutes, when I was told that I had to do this, I tried to make a Shopify app called Flea Market, where you could take photos with your phone and it auto-post them to a Shopify store where you could sell your shit. And the reason I did this is because someone actually did that. Like, it was like a hacker guy who like had to sell all his shit out of his apartment. And in 30 days, he sold all his stuff by like tweeting a link to a Shopify store and then like walking around his house taking photos of shit. So I was gonna make hacker auction and take a bunch of photos of you guys and sell it. But alas, my phone ran out of battery, so can't actually do it. But yeah, it's super, super easy. If you wanna make a Shopify application, just go to api.shopify.com and it'll go. If you'll give me like 2 more minutes before we get to the problem description, I want to show you one thing. So this is a bouncy castle in the Shopify office today. An intern that we were trying to hire who really wanted a job with us sent this to us. She didn't even come with it. She just sent it to us and got it set up. And then I had a ball fight with the Shopify CTO inside the bouncy castle. Like, you know, the balls in a ball pit? We made a ball pit in the bouncy castle, and I had a fight with them. So that's my life. I work on like hard problems that require like a lot of knowledge. I work on a super high performance team where everyone's smarter than me and I get to learn crazy amounts of stuff. I have ball fights and like everything is wonderful, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's not without its like woes. We're coming up 2 months away from this thing called Cyber Monday, which you guys may be familiar with. It's like the biggest online shopping day of the year. And so there's like one team of Shopify that's pulling like 100-hour weeks, working their fucking asses off, like destroying themselves. And I really hate that. Like I wish that we were better at planning stuff so that those guys didn't have to kill themselves, but they're like dying in order to make Shopify scale to meet the demands of like this crazy pressureful thing. So there's good times and bad times and bouncy castles, and come work for us. The way you do that is by talking to us. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Shopify. All the important links to how to use Shopify's API will be included as part of the package that you will get once the problem is being released. So look out for that. Okay, so problem time. This is Mark Etienne, and he will be giving you the problem description. Okay. We'll pull up the problem description. But like you wanted the Dropbox folder thing, right? Sorry, you wanted that, all of that?
Yeah, that's
Open
okay.
shift?
No, let me get a quick presentation thing to do first here.
Oh, you're right.
But I'll keep it really quick.
Oh, it's here.
It's here? Code.Jam presentation. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Cool. Screen.
Yeah, let's do. Well, actually, first I'm going to scroll down because I'll skip some stuff. Okay, how about this?
You're going to skip all of that?
Yeah, I feel like people don't want to hear it, so.
Sorry.
All right, so my name is Mark Etienne. I'm with the Miguel Energy Project, and in the interest of time and technical problems, I'll skip a bunch of the stuff I had to say at the beginning. I just want to say thank you to Mil, who definitely bore the brunt of that technical nightmare that we experienced, and I'm sorry it ended up with you, but I guess it had to happen to someone. So, thank you. All right, so I'm with the Miguel Energy Project, and at the top it says how to start now. And the reason it says how to start now at the top is because the Miguel Energy Project is basically a group of students who are sick of hearing about how climate change is doing in the world, how we got terrible environmental disasters, and essentially we want to start doing something about it now. So the idea behind the Miguel Energy Project is that we partner with profs and admin to let students use design projects and independent studies to start making McGill more sustainable. I know it doesn't sound that interesting, but I promise you it is. So really it is about getting started now. So this question is both related to the McGill Energy Project and what your challenge question is. So you know, pay attention. How much does McGill spend on energy annually? I want some people to take a guess in this room here. So I'll do by show of hands. Who says A? All right. Who says B? Okay. C? Okay. And D? All right, so the answer is C, and the majority of you said C. So that's, you got ballpark here. It's a fair bit of money. So then, but here's another question. What percentage do you think that is from sort of clean hydroelectricity? A, B, okay, C, and then D. All right, so here most of you are wrong. It's actually only 45% hydro. It's actually pretty impressive. We actually heat all of the campus with natural gas and steam. We have a big generation facility down by the administration building that sort of burns natural gas, produces steam, and then sort of pipes it to the whole campus. So if you want to learn more about energy at McGill, you can just Google the McGill Energy Dashboard and see what's up on campus. So I guess the idea behind the McGill Energy Project is we're really looking to leverage institutional knowledge. That is, there's a lot of smart people who go to this university. We want to use the university as a living lab. We believe that this is a university, it should smell like innovation. We should be trying new things, we should be pushing the limits, and we think the most relevant thing to be pushing the limits on right now is sustainability and energy. And then ultimately, we rely on student creativity and drive. People like you who are willing to spend 48 hours programming to sort of drive this forward. So a few of our students' projects, just to name some that you might be interested in, are we've partnered with residences to design solar installations. We've worked with McGill facilities to do a complete optimization of the boilers that I was mentioning earlier on campus. We're looking at ways to get McGill's waste vegetable oil stream, which is actually really substantial, right into the furnaces on campus. So here's some of the interesting stuff that's been produced. Here you see a breakdown of the results of the optimization work that was done on the boilers, sort of a report or a chart for the operators to figure out how to best use the boilers to sort of burn, to be most efficient. A quick little mock-up of what the solar panels might look like up on upper res. And then I guess the point here is that how do we make this happen? I just want you, I can't sort of do a presentation on sustainability at McGill and not have anyone who doesn't know what the Sustainability Projects Fund is at McGill. So who knows what the Sustainable Projects Fund is at McGill? Who had heard of that before right now? Okay, very few of you. All right, so it's a big fund at McGill that's half funded by students and half funded by administrators to do exactly this, to sort of fuel student projects and faculty projects that work on sustainability on campus. So just here's another question. What do you think the annual budget is for this? So by show of hands, A. Okay, B. All right, C. And D. All right, so in this case, it's D. There's a lot of money every year available for you. So Google McGill SPF to learn more. It's a very interesting process. You'll come with an idea. They'll probably shut you down to begin with. That's the whole point. They want to work with you, take your initial idea, and sort of incubate you, and then work to develop it into something that's better than it originally was. But there have been over 100 projects at this point, a few of which have been the McGill Energy Project, and go check it out. So finally, I just want to make a sort of a note that these student projects on energy can really grow beyond campus. Actually, for an example, I just founded a company based on one of the projects that we started here, looking at how to save energy in labs. Now we're growing throughout McGill, but we're also looking to scale at other institutions, private, public as well. So this is not something that you sort of do at McGill and leave behind. You can definitely pick up stuff for later as well. So to learn more about the MEP, visit our website, or you can also come to our Hot Chocolate with TED event. You can see some of the students who are presenting the results of these projects. That's on November 28th at 6 p.m. in Bronfman. So it's pretty soon. And now I'm going to get to what you've all been waiting for, the challenge question. All right, so our goal in developing the challenge question was to sort of take some of the ideas of the MEP and embed it into the problem. So we were looking to work in sustainability and an energy focus, to use McGill as a living lab, and to make sure that what you were working on was relevant right now. So, of course, with all that in mind, we also had to make sure that it was sufficiently challenging to keep even the most diehard, software and computer scientists interested. So, I'm going to start with a little introductory video that's going to give you sort of an idea of the theme, and then I'll go into the specifics. I'm going to need sound right here. Where is it sitting? So this is a video from a company that we're not at all affiliated with, but they just capture a concept that I want to drive home, and that's going to be the sort of the subject of this challenge question.
There's more emphasis on going green than ever before. But green usually comes with a price tag and the promise of savings down the line. Wouldn't it be great if someone actually paid you to go green? We do. We're Kiwi Power, and we're changing the way UK businesses consume energy during times of peak demand. These peaks occur during extremely hot or cold weather, some sporting events, and other times that unusually high demands are placed on the national grid. When a peaking demand occurs, the national grid turns on older, inefficient power stations to meet the increased demand. But dirty energy from these stations is expensive and significantly more carbon intensive than regular stations. Wouldn't it be great if we could reduce or even eliminate the need for this dirty energy? We can. Kiwi Power has a solution. It's called Energy Demand Management, and our growing network of participating businesses is helping to eliminate the UK's reliance on inefficient power stations. How does it work? When electricity demand begins to peak, we call on our network of participants to temporarily switch off or reduce non-critical systems, such as heating, cooling and lighting, or turn on standby generators for short periods of time until the demand returns to normal levels. We monitor our participants using smart meters, which track energy consumption in real time. This allows the national grid to turn off the older, inefficient power stations, greatly reducing the cost of energy and the impact on the environment. And energy demand management increases grid reliability, smoothing out supply of renewable energy sources connected to the grid. So on cloudy or less windy days, grid demand can be balanced to meet the intermittent renewable supply. So what's the downside? Nothing. No impact on your operations, no cost to your business. Kiwi Power's costs are recovered from the national grid, and best of all, the national grid pays you to participate.
Okay, you don't need to advertise for Kiwi Power any more than that. So the idea there was a sort of a key concept there, which is demand side management or demand response. I'm going to take a second here to draw that on the board, because I think it's important that you understand what that is. So the idea here is they drew a graph, right? And they said this is time, and this is your sort of power demand, right? And they're sort of pointing out two things, right? They're saying that supplying electricity to a city, to an institution, to sort of anyone, consists of two challenges, right? There's the challenge of actually producing the energy you need, right? So this is power, right? Right? Then if you look at this curve, what's the energy consumed? Can anyone tell me what the energy consumed from this curve is? Area under the curve, right? Yeah, okay, there we go. So area under the curve is the energy consumed, right? But there's another really important piece here. And can someone tell me what that is? B. There we go, right? So these are two things you need to balance. And really, the big challenge for utilities, for smart grids, for renewables, is not this, it's this. It's saying we need to be able to anticipate and meet that peak demand, and we need to be able to do it when our supply consists of wind turbines, it consists of solar panels, the wind's intermittent, the sun is intermittent, and we need to come in and sort of make up the difference with coal or nuclear or whatever it is, in the long term, hopefully geothermal. point is, in order to manage a peak, right, what do you need to be able to do? Because let's think about this graph. If I'm sitting here on this graph, right, this is me, I know this. I have no idea what's coming, right? So the idea is that if you want to be able to implement these smart grid technologies, and you want to be able to implement things like demand response, a big challenge is forecasting what that peak is and what energy, what the power demand is going to be in the future. Because once you know that, then you can start applying control algorithms. Then you can start coming in and doing these demand response programs and implementing more renewable energy into the grid. So this is a central problem in smart grids. And this is the problem that you're going to be faced with over the next 48 hours. So let me pull this up. So here it is, the Code.Jam challenge question. So, Code.Jam contest for 2013 is devise an application that can provide accurate real-time forecast of McGill's electricity consumption up to 16 hours in advance. So, you're going to be judged on your success sort of in three primary areas. The accuracy of the predictions generated, the application's ability to connect to a live data stream and generate real-time forecasts, and the clarity with which it presents the information. So basically what we're going to give you is 2 years of historic power demand and weather data for a large institution, which is McGill, and an access to an API that is going to give you real-time information on what energy McGill is consuming, the sort of weather outside, and a forecast of future weather predictions. So what you're going to get in your package here to start is this large data set. So we're going to give you 2.5 years worth of historic information in 15-minute intervals about what McGill's power demand was. It's going to look something like this. You're going to have a situation where you've got sort of daytime in ISO format. You're going to have information, sort of relevant weather information, radiation, humidity, temperature, wind speed. And then on the side here, you're going to have power demand. So it's all going to be in a CSV format. It's a fairly large file. And just a point of clarification here is that the power demand is monitored actually on a rolling sort of average 15-minute window measurement. But the weather information only comes in hourly, because that's the way weather forecast stations give information. So you're going to have to sort of be able to work with that. And then the idea is that using this historic information, you need to be able to design a web app capable of predicting the power demand for a 16-hour window. And we're going to ask you to sort of do that in 2 increasing levels of difficulty. So the first piece is just going to be, you've got to provide us with a machine interface. You've got to provide us with a URL where we can post a CSV file, and your app will respond with a forecast. So that's the first piece. The second piece is you got to basically build a dashboard. You got to build something that's going to go in and connect with Pulse Energy, which is the energy monitoring company for McGill's API, goes and retrieves weather information and power information, and then makes a forecast and puts it up on a live screen so that we can see it happening in real time. So let me just sort of clarify a little bit here what we're going to send you for that first piece. So the idea is that we've given you basically a curl command, which is what we're going to use to test your app. And what we've given you is a sample file of exactly what we're going to send you in terms of information. So what it looks like basically is you're going to have, I think it's a total of 96 or 97 lines of data. The first one is just sort of variable names. And then it essentially looks like a section of the data set that we've given you. The idea is that you'll have 32 rows of historic information, right? And then you'll have 64 rows of theoretical future information. And the idea is that the future information is supposed to represent weather forecast as opposed to historic weather data. So associated with those lines, which starts right here in bold, right? what we're going to see, or we're going to send you, is that the power demand is going to be null. So your job is going to be fill in the blanks. It's going to be, this is the information, this is what was happening. You are now where bowl temperature is. We can tell you what the weather forecast is going to be, but we want you to tell us what the power demand is going to be. So the idea is that your response, and the details you'll find in the files, looks essentially like this, where the first sort of date time corresponds to the first instance in bold here where there was a null, and then you've got to sort of forecast what the power demand is going to be. So let me go a little further. There's a bit more. So the assessment is basically going to be based on your accuracy. The idea is that we're going to measure your RMS, sort of your root mean squared performance. So that's sort of just like the variance on your forecast, basically. And the idea is that the other piece that we're going to have to sort of set people apart is a bonus question. So if for whatever reason you find this to be too easy, some of you might, then we're going to take it further. We're going to say, not only are we interested in what your forecast is, we're interested in the sort of confidence intervals around that forecast, which is actually really, really relevant for all decision making, I'm sure. I mean, an expected value is only interesting when you have sort of confidence values around it. So the idea is that if you're telling me that your forecast is sort of this, what we're interested in the bonus question is if you can tell us that you're sure that 75% of the time you're going to fall within the dotted line. Just slightly different than telling us what you expect the weather forecast to be. It's giving us information on the distribution. And then, so that's sort of the technical piece is the accuracy of your predictions. And then there's the sort of more qualitative piece, which comes out in the user interface and the dashboard. And the idea is that you've got to demonstrate that you've been able to connect to the API. And you've got to, we're going to judge you basically on the clarity and the relevance of the information presented, and of course, creativity and style. So, before I get too many more blank looks here, I'm going to talk you through just a little bit of strategies and basic theory to get you started. So, the way you got to think about this problem is that you've got to generate a forecasting engine. And this forecasting engine is essentially a mapping, right? What you're given is the variables in blue, and what you're asked to do is determine what the variables in orange are. You're essentially building a function. And the idea is that, so here you go, got a little input to output variable thing. But the idea is that rather than trying to take like sort of a deterministic approach to this and sort of figure out some explicit relationship between these variables, we really, really strongly recommend that you take a statistical learning approach, right? So there's a whole ton of statistical learning models available online in a variety of different libraries and a variety of different languages using a ton of different approaches. So what we're suggesting you do is you train this data, you train a model based on this data to be able to figure out how to make a forecast. So let's go through a couple more hints here before we take questions. So the team that you were working on with this is looking to apply supervised machine learning. So keyword there, supervised. It's suggested that you divide the historic data into two sets, so that you use half of this historic data to train your model on, and then half of this historic data you use to then test the accuracy of those predictions, right? Because you need something to be able to test the accuracy, and you don't have, the only way you can sort of do that is to use part of your data to do that. I also would encourage you to interpolate the weather data, that is, fill in the blanks between, I guess you can't see that, sort of between entries here, because having everything in the same time base will make all this easier. But there's many different ways to interpolate the data, and that's up to you. I want to point to the fact that not only weather data is going to matter here, but the time of the day of the week, and the week of the year are going to be sort of information that you need to extract from the date in order to do accurate predictions for sure. And finally, that you've got a lot of variables in blue there, right? And that we don't expect the models that include all the variables to be the best. There's definitely going to be an aspect of choosing what matters and choosing what doesn't matter. Sometimes simple is best, you know, especially in a limited time frame. So at the end of this, the idea is that you're going to submit 2 to 3 URLs. The first one is a machine interface where we can run that curl command and post a file to and get your response. The second of which is a URL that just links to a user dashboard, which should be live streaming forecasts based on Pulse's API. And the third URL, if you get there, is the bonus, which should be giving us confidence intervals. And of course, you're going to have to give us OpenShift credentials. And I'll leave Anthony to explain why. And then we'll take questions. So here, let me pull up.
Here, I'll take this.
Yeah.
Cameron, hi. I'm Anthony from Ericsson. I'm one of the judges. I can't believe how patient you are. I think it'll all be done in 5 minutes. You're going to get a PDF that will explain in detail how to set this up. But so I'll just try to go over the key points with you so that you know how to get started. So, you know, we're in the domain of weather right now, so it's time to make deploy your solution to the cloud, obviously. As I said before, platform as a service is really big in industry. We look at this a lot. We're all frantically trying to deploy in the cloud for our customers. And now you'll be able to play with this kind of solution. We chose OpenShift from Red Hat, which you may have heard of. They offer a free online service. It's amazing stuff. Here's the vision that I want you to work with. Let's say you didn't have a cloud solution. I'll show you now. We have to judge your code. We have to judge a web app. So in the old days, we would have said, give us your software. We'll try to deploy it. Maybe we would have said, build an image of some Linux distribution, and we'll have to install that image on our laptops and judge that. In the end, the simplest solution by far was, we'll have you code in your own Git environment on your own laptop, push your changes to the Git that's provided by OpenShift, and within a few seconds, your code will be running there. Now, there's a lot of room to move within this. You might decide to create sub-branches in your Git structures off from GitHub, and then only push that occasionally. So let's go through this, and then you can figure out the details. So can you scroll me down since you're there?
Yeah.
So the first thing, you're going to go to this URL at the top, and you're going to select sign up for free. You only need one project per team, so we'll go down more. You'll be creating a web app, right? So with this OpenShift thing, you get to create a web app. You can go down further. Keep going.
Yeah.
So you can imagine that you're going to get an email, you're creating your account, you click on email to validate your account, and now you're in business again. Go to the one on the left there, the web. It's a web interface, so go down a bit more. You're going to get to choose, keep going down, take your first application. You can choose your language. If you're more comfortable with any of those, I'm more of a Java guy, so I would choose Java by default. When I prototype this, that's what I use. If you go with the Java application, you'll be able to then choose, do you want a strictly web app kind of infrastructure, Tomcat-based, J2E, whatever you decide. Let's move on. Give it a good name. Remember that you're all going to be deploying on OpenShift. These URLs are unique. So you should give this the name of your team. Anyway, you have two URLs to set up there. You can go down a bit more. No scaling, create application. Okay, keep going. This is the important part. By pasting your Git public key, you just enter it here. Each of your team members will have one, right? So let's say you're a team of 3. You can go back, the first guy can put in his key here. You can go back to your console later, add in the second key, add in the third key. Once you've done that, there's going to be some crunching and grinding, and things will happen. And they'll give you a command, go down some more, to do the clone of your OpenShift project. So as you can see here, can you go up a bit?
Up a bit.
Oh, no, sorry, down a bit. Do you see there the Git clone command? So this is stuff you've done before if you've done Git. I mean, if you haven't played with Git before, God help you for today. You'll have a few hours, maybe not coding tonight, maybe learning the Git stuff. You just do this Git clone, and this is where the crunching happens. You go into your directory, and your whole product structure is there. You're going to have source main web app. There's going to be an index file in there, and you can replace it with hello world. And the minute you commit that change and push, your hello world is going to deploy to the cloud, and congratulations. At that point, you're a cloud developer. We thought it was more important for you guys to spend time coding than to prepare images and all this. And you'll be able to use this in interviews and in your future professional life for sure. Because I think this is, the vision of OpenShift is quite compelling. I think you'll really like it. So that's all I have to say for now. This is roughly the infrastructure. This PDF will be yours. This is written by a guy who did the same problem you did a few days in advance. And it worked fine. I hope it'll work for you too. Okay? And good luck, everyone. You're amazing guys.
All right, before we break up here, are there any questions? Any burning questions? Just behind you first, yeah. Guys, we just quiet down for the questions, sorry. Well, okay, so you're saying, can we not use OpenShift? So the reason we decided to go with OpenShift is because we need to be able to limit the last time you modified your code. So the idea is that Code.Jam ends at 5 p.m., right, on Sunday. So the problem is that by developing a web app in some other framework on some other account, we don't have access to your credentials, and we can't sort of tell when you stopped using and stopped developing. So that was the idea behind using OpenShift. Everyone's sort of forced to use the same platform. It's super versatile. You can use a bunch of different languages. But yeah, that's what we're sticking with. Question? Is that the same question? Yeah? Yeah. Okay, so the exact judging criteria is going to be discussed by the judging panel. But the idea is that we're looking at, what we're leaning towards is something along the lines of sort of like 60% performance of the actual accuracy of the predictions, and sort of 30% on the dashboard API connectivity. I think it's easier to get through the first chunk in the amount of time you have, so I think that sort of works in your favor. If we find that people have less trouble connecting to an API and putting something up on a dashboard and having, just like getting something visual up, then we can sort of change the judging accordingly. Cool? Other questions? Yeah? Okay, so that's, maybe Sassy can speak to that? Is Sassy in the room? No? Oh yeah, here you go. Am I blind? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so she's saying that she's going to post a Dropbox link on the website, on the Code.Jam website. So it's going to be a public link. You can download all the contents of this folder. Just maybe to speak to a few more things in here. There's also using the Pulse API, which is going to be relevant. I didn't even bother presenting it because we sort of spelled it out for you. I sort of just, it can be somewhat confusing. We had an intern work on it. So basically, it's as easy as literally entering this URL, replacing it with the key that you've been given, and specifying the sort of the data point you want and the time you want to start getting data from, and it will just sort of ship you a JSON file. So, other questions? Sassy, do you want to speak to how we're going to be answering questions? Where'd she go again? So I guess from what I maybe don't quote me on this. Maybe you want to take that.
Yeah. There's going to be an email, Gmail.
Yeah.
So guys, if you have any questions that you guys are going to be asking during the actual competition, send an email to Code.Jam at. Well, I actually can't remember the email specifically. We're going to have an email up. It's going to be on the Dropbox account. So you guys can send an email to that specifically, and our judges will answer you as quickly as possible. As quickly and as honestly as possible.
We're also setting up a form, right? There's going to be a form for...
We actually set it as a form.
Okay, we're not doing a form.
We're not doing a form, guys. Sorry. Otherwise, yeah, the email is going to be up on the Dropbox.